In this TaxSlayer Pro training video, Kim Hensley will take us through part 1 of the steps involved in applying for an EFIN.
Hi, my name is Kim. I would like to help you through the process of applying for your EFIN or getting an additional EFIN if you've already gotten your first. It's a process that typically takes, what the IRS will tell you is it typically takes about 45 days. I usually advise that you give yourself at least 2 months for the full process to set up the account on the IRS's website and mail in the fingerprint cards and do the actual EFIN application. And then from that point, it's typically about 45 days. So today I'll walk you through the process, and one little reminder I wanted to let you know up front is that if you already have an EFIN, then the process is much simpler to get an additional EFIN. It's just a matter of calling the IRS or logging into your e-services account and requesting an additional EFIN. And the phone number for the IRS's e-file or EFIN hotline is 1-866-255-0654. And the reason that I'm sending you that direction is that you can avoid a lot of what we'll talk about further in this video, because getting an additional EFIN, you don't have to do the fingerprint cards, you don't have to do the actual EFIN application again. It's just a matter of calling to request an additional EFIN. Now, I know most of you are probably requesting your first EFIN, and I'd like to say congratulations. That's a big step in starting a business or opening a new tax office. So let's work through this together. The first thing that I'll have you do is go to the IRS's website, and you heard me mention it before. You'll create an e-services account, and that's the account where you'll be able to log in with a username and password to apply for the EFIN. So I'll walk you through that process today. This is the IRS's website. You can access www.irs.gov and click on the link that says for tax pros. And when we get to this website, you see the link over here that says e-services, and we're going to access e-services and then click login or register. And today, since it's our first time, we're going to register for an e-services account. And you can see that it's just asking for some pretty basic information. What I want to point out also early in the video is that you'll need your AGI, your adjusted gross income, from your most recent tax return. Sometimes people have to collect that data before they actually sit down to do this registration process, so I like to point that out. But I'm going to go through and put some mock information into the systems. Just wanted to give you a couple of quick tips on entering data within this website too. The date of birth, make sure that you put the dashes. It will not automatically put that in there for you. Put your social, of course, and you don't need to put dashes there. Make sure that you fill out anything that is required. It's going to be highlighted if the information is required. If the information is not required, you can certainly skip it. If I were you, that's probably what I would actually do. And then the tax year ending, make sure that you select that. And then put your adjusted gross income from your prior year tax return. I just put some dummy information in this system. You can also put answers to these questions, and this is the recovery for the username and password. And once you've entered all of the information, click accept after you've read the terms and conditions. Accept is at the bottom of the screen. And if everything was submitted correctly, this is the screen that you will see. Don't be alarmed if you get a menu at the top of the page or a pop-up that tells you that there is information that you need to correct. Many times the web page is very specific for how it likes the information to be entered. So just go back and correct which information it would like for you to do. Otherwise, we can move forward from here. Now, since our registration was successful, the IRS lets us know that they will be sending us a letter, and we have to respond within 28 days or the registration will expire, and that would mean that you would have to reapply after 28 days. So check your mailbox pretty regularly. This is a phone number you might want to keep on hand. If you don't receive that letter within 14 days, definitely give that number a call and they can help you complete the process. I'm not sure what that includes, whether they send you another letter or if they just give you the username and password over the phone, let you know that it has been activated. So just keep that in mind, and you can check back in. Now, the e-services account that we've just created, once you get that letter in the mail to activate it, that's where you'll go to actually do the EFIN application. Now, there is one really important step that you must do in between this application and the actual EFIN application, and that step is getting your fingerprint cards completed. Now, you should receive or already have received 2 fingerprint cards, either from us or from the IRS if you've requested them. And you need to take it to your local sheriff's department or police station or somewhere near you that does fingerprinting. Typically, the places do not charge much at all, if anything. So take it to your local area station and they'll be happy to help you with that. And once you get it completed, then you can move on to the actual EFIN application within your e-services account. After your fingerprint cards are finished, just hold on to those, don't bend them, be very careful with them, and we will talk about the steps later on in the video for how to handle those fingerprint cards and get them sent off. Now, this is going to be the letter that you get. This is kind of a sample, and it'll have a confirmation code. Follow the steps on the letter. You see the numbered list, and just follow those steps on the IRS's website to finish your confirmation for e-services. Once you're finished, you can log back into your e-services account if you're not already back in there and start your EFIN application. And I'll walk you through the steps of the EFIN application here. And so we'll just get logged in and you can see what we do. Once you get logged in, you can click on the application link, either one of them, but you can see the one on the left side of the screen. And then next you'll do the e-file application. So for the business type, you can select, a lot of people do sole proprietorship, but you just select whichever one applies to your business. And if you have an EIN, you can enter it. Select yes or no, and then enter it if you select yes, and then hit next. And here you're just going to enter some of your basic information. This part is pretty simple. Now it's already got selected that this is the principal. You've got the drop-down option if it's the responsible official. But here we're going to select principal of business. And next. And this is another place where we'll enter some basic information. We're going to enter the address of the business. And it's really important that you enter the actual business address. If you're not sure where the business will be located yet, you can enter your home address, but make sure that you get it updated after you've applied for your EFIN, once you do know what the actual address will be. We've got some yes/no questions here. And we'll just scroll down, and again, we're going to hit next. So some of this seems really simple. This is where we're entering information about the principal of the business, So we've already entered some of the basic information. We'll click Edit, the Edit button next to the person that we've already included. So for us, it's going to be Richard Elijah. And then fill in the answers that haven't already been completed. And make sure that you fill it out in the proper format. Sometimes it'll bark back at you if you don't put the dashes in the right place or put it in the exactly correct format. Every website's a little bit different for what it's looking for. And so we will get that updated. And click Next. And the application has been saved in the system. And it's just letting us know that we have a certain period of time. I think it's about 2 months to get the application completed, somewhere around that time. They don't give you just an infinite amount of time to finish the EFIN application once you've started it. So keep that in mind. Once you begin, you have to finish it at the time. Now this one is the tricky one. It's pretty important that you select under provider option ERO for electronic return originator. And generally it's for profit, and you can add that as a business activity. You can also select transmitter. Now most likely you will not be the transmitter, but it's just good to go ahead and apply for that so that if you ever do become the transmitter of the return, you have already gotten that set up properly. Alright, so now we set up the forms. So you'll select the drop-down box under provider option, which is the two that we just entered, electronic return originator and transmitter. So we'll select both of these. And then just select whichever forms you know that you will be using. You can select all of them if you would like, or just specific forms that you think that you will be using. Some people don't ever do 990s or whatever, 94X, some of those unusual, the more unusual forms. So just fill in whichever ones pertain to your business if you'd like, or select all of them. You have the option. And then for the next block, you'll select transmitter. And you can do the same thing. Here you have to select more specific options. You have to tell it if you're going to do modernized e-filing or EMS. Modernized e-filing is what we recommend that you select. And again, that's something that you probably will not ever need, but it's better to go ahead and set it up that way just in case. So we'll add that information. All right, and a couple of times the website will tell you this, you have unsaved data. It doesn't automatically save every time you hit next, so sometimes it does require you to click the save button. And then it'll give you this prompt that lets you know that it's been saved in the system. So now that it's saved, we can hit next. And we'll answer some suitability questions, and this will be the first section of suitability questions. I think there's only 2. Okay, and we'll save. And then we'll click Next. So we can set up delegated users if you'd like. You definitely don't have to. Usually we'll just have people continue through here. And at the bottom you can already tell we've got a tracking number. We're going to go ahead and click Next. It hasn't been submitted just yet. And then once we get it submitted, it'll give us our tracking number in big bold letters. So again, we'll do some more suitability questions. This is the second set. And the PIN that you use to create your e-services account is the PIN that you need to enter here. And it may be on that letter. If you refer back to the letter that they sent, you can get that. Now this is letting us know that we have to have 2 fingerprint cards completed to finish this. So it's just a reminder. And we'll hit Next. We're almost done. And then enter the PIN number one more time. And the last thing we'll do is click Submit. And it'll tell you here if there's anything that was not done properly. On this page, the Submission Complete page, it will also show your tracking number. Now that tracking number is very important. It's what you put on the back of the fingerprint cards and also on the outside of the envelope. And that's just a recommendation. It doesn't say specifically that you have to do that, but make sure that you do. And then the address, just showed that above, the Andover Submission Processing Center. So if you have any additional questions, feel free to let us know or contact the IRS e-services hotline, the number that we gave you before, and we'll be happy to help you with this process. Thank you so much and have a great day.